There's only two kinds of people, far as I can tell: the terminally ill and the worried well. Every time I've tried to climb out of that wishing well, I've only made it up just high enough to hurt when I fell. Well, did you ever wonder? Of course you did. I've always wondered how you kept it all so well hid. I've had my heart wide open since I was a kid. I got a lot of love, I got a ton. Inches from my ankles when he runs out of chain. My neighbor's dog knows I know how to drive him insane. I like to give him a little taste of what I'm feeling all day, always chasing after something slightly too far away. You think that you're down to nothing, you ain't seen nothing yet. I am down and out to just about as nothing as it gets. I'm working all day, every day to pay my debts. I need a lot of love, I need a ton of it. I got a lot of love. I got a lot of love for y'all for coming out and seeing me tonight. It's always good to be invited back someplace. I brought even more love with me this time. My old man was such a reckless bunch of reckless fools. He always lived by his own set of not so golden rules. The kind of show off that hated the show off's guts. I've always figured that's what must be driving us nuts. I say I got a lot of love. I got a lot of love for you now. I want a 6-foot tombstone, 2 feet thick, with the words engraved. I tried to tell you all I was sick, so you'll know that I was right when you go walking on past. You tried to tell me I was well, but look who's laughing, Did you ever wonder? Of course you did. I've always wondered how you kept it on so well here. I've had my heart wide open since I was a kid. I've got a lot of love, I got a ton of it. I got a lot of love, baby. I need a lot of love. I'll come up with this one when I was coming down the hill. Little gray clouds rolling over my head. I'm walking up a hill to get my fortune read. I can still take this rejection, but man, it's getting harder to do. I wish I could show you how you have hurt me in a way that wouldn't hurt you too. Tennis shoes hanging from a telephone wire. I've got a little money, I could get a little higher. I was alright for a while, but you know how that kind of shit goes. Everything in moderation, including moderation, I suppose. I never did like the people where I was employed. They were always out to get me cause I'm paranoid. Now I'm working for myself and that don't pay a lousy dime. If what we are here to do is learn to forgive each other, well, I'm gonna need a little bit more time. It's too soon to tell. It's too soon to tell. It's too soon to tell. By and by. Yes, it's too soon to tell what's going to happen to us when we die. It's too soon to tell what we will ever avenge. They say that living well is the best revenge. I say bullshit. The best revenge is revenge. This isn't over. We're going to meet again. And good Lord, if you're still up there, you've sure got a lot of nerve. It seems like even the wicked, we get worse than we deserve. We are afraid to die, every goddamn one of us. I swear to God, it's like you're making fun of us. Not worth keeping or too good to keep. If it's a better secret than that, man, wait till I'm asleep. And if you're so God almighty, well, what's with all this mystery? Yes, I would love to trust you, buddy, but you are clearly keeping secrets from me. It's too soon to tell. Too soon to tell. It's too soon to tell. By and by. It's too soon to tell what's going to happen to us when we die. At the fortune teller's on the second floor, in bright red letters hanging off the door, it said close. I think that might have been some kind of sign. Don't give up on me, baby, I think I could be losing my mind. I have just met too many people that I love too much. They are scattered all over. I could never possibly stay in touch with them. I've been traveling almost forever, it seems. You too could wake up one morning, you'll have a lot more memories than dreams. The low-grade cloud rolling over my head. I'm walking down this hill without my fortune read. I can still take this rejection, but Lord, it's getting harder to do. I wish I could show you how you've hurt me in a way that wouldn't hurt you too. I wish I could show you how you've hurt me in a way that wouldn't hurt you too. Well, before I even play any more songs, thank you for doing this. I love meeting up with you, especially in this weather like this. I'm shocked to see so much of you. A big hand for my friend Ashley Flynn that's been doing so great. I appreciate you coming out, especially if you brought a friend out. If you're the friend, my name's Todd Snider. I've been doing this for fucking ever. I make this shit up, singing for anybody that'll listen to it. I like to mention early in the show that sometimes I ramble on for quite a long time, often as many as 18 minutes in between songs. Might have heard me say that before, that's because I meant that before. I also say, before we go too far into the proceedings, that I'm probably going to end up sharing some of my opinions with you over the course of this night. And so Before I do that, let me just let you know that I don't think I'm sharing my opinions with you because they're smart or because I think you need to know them. I share them because they rhyme. I don't intend to change anybody's mind. I intend to ease my own. I appreciate y'all giving me a chance to do it again. Let's take care of our bartenders tonight and really fucking tip them so next time I come back. I also was going to tell you before we go too far in the show, we're going to do 2 sets tonight instead of just 1. Which means if you got anything you want to hear, just write it on a napkin and set it right here by the stage. And I know almost all of this shit. I'm not sure when they're going to run us out of here, but I'll stay here and sing this shit until you guys leave. Just the other morning, hanging around my house, had that new book with all them pictures of Madonna naked. Remember that book? I was checking that out. Just then a friend of mine came to the door. Said she'd never picked me for a Madonna fan before. Said she didn't ever want to see me anymore, and I still don't know why. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm an alright guy. Just wanna live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but God knows I try. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright. I know I'm dirty and I know that I have smoked a lot of dope in my time. Man, it ain't like I went on TV and tore up a picture of the Pope like Sinead O'Connor did that time. I know I get dry, I know I get drunk. Ain't like I've got a bunch of bodies in my trunk. Old man used to call me no good punk, and I still don't know why. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm an alright guy. I just wanna live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but God knows I try. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm alright. Just the other night, you know, these cops pulled me over outside of a bar. They turned on their lights. They said, "Hey, old time, we're going to have to ask you to get out of that car." I was only kidding when I called them a couple of dicks. Still admitting to the stupid human tricks. Now I'm stuck in this jail with a bunch of dumb hicks, and I still don't know why. I think I'm an alright guy. I think I'm an alright guy. Just wanna live till I gotta die. I know I ain't perfect, but ooh, no, God knows I try. God knows I try. I'm a good Samaritan, God dang it. I don't gotta take this shit. I'll tell you something, brothers and sisters. One time, many years ago, I was riding down the road in this old LeBaron that I had. I had just been broken up with by a girl. For a musician, that also means you're losing your apartment. So I was driving down the road with all the shit in the back of my car, feeling low down, wishing somebody could let me know that things were gonna be alright. Just when I was thinking that, I seen these 2 cars ahead of me on the road collide into each other. Looked like kind of a nasty accident. I pulled over as quick as I could and I started running toward them cars. Don't even know why. In fact, in my mind, I was thinking, Todd Snider, what the fuck are you gonna do for these people? Not a goddamn thing. Except for maybe see something you can't ever unsee again. But I could hear those sirens in the distance, and I knew that somebody had already called the police. And I wanted to be a good Samaritan and then just at least let them know things is gonna be alright. So I ran up to that first car. I said, "Ma'am, you alright?" She said, "I think I'm alright. I think I'm alright." I looked her up and down. Looked like her ankle was swollen a little bit. But I could hear those sirens in the distance. I knew that somebody had already called the police. Help was on the way. Made me feel good. Made me feel like a good Samaritan to be able to say, "Ma'am, everything's gonna be alright." I ran over to that other car. I asked that lady, I said, "Ma'am, you feeling alright?" She said, "Fuck no, I'm not alright." I looked her up and down. I didn't see a scratch on her. I said, "What's the matter with you?" She reached down under the seat of her car. She pulled out a considerably large-sized bag of marijuana. And I could hear those sirens in the distance. I knew that somebody had already called the police. I'm a good Samaritan. It made me feel good to be able to say, "Ma'am, this is gonna be alright." I'm having fun already, y'all. Thank y'all. This is a song I made up a long time ago and put it out. I didn't remember the album it's on, but I remember shortly after I put it out, I got a letter from a guy in Australia that said that he thought this song glorified violence or some shit. I don't know. I don't really even listen to him that close. So I listened to it close again, and I thought, well, fuck, maybe he's right a little bit. So this is the Australian version. It's a little different. Credit complications in the checkout line. It's an awkward situation almost every time. They'll keep your card behind. They keep your groceries too. Yeah, they do. You try telling everybody it's a terrible mistake, but you can tell they don't believe that's true. It's written all over you when you're broke. I hung my head down as I walked out the door. I'm never ever going back to that store. They treated me like a bum in front of everyone behind me in line. It was all my friends and neighbors looking at me like I'd committed some kind of crime. I guess you ain't worth a dime when you're broke. If I had money like I did in my day, just out of spite I think I'd give it away. I thought it wasn't supposed to matter anyway, and the more I thought, the madder I got. By the time I got home I was seeing red. I pulled the gun up out from under my bed. I put a sock on my head and into the night I flew, away I flew. The next thing I know, I've got blood on my hands, but I've got money in my pockets too. You never know what you will do until you do what you do when you're broke. Now if I had money like I did in my day, I would drive a car and far away I'd take us. Of course you know I've got this debt to pay now to society. Honey, wait for me. With good behavior I'll be out in 7 years. Don't worry over me or shed any tears. I've learned a lot in here, and I know what a chance I blew. Ooh. The next time I won't make the same mistake. I'll shoot the camera out too. I'm learning all kinds of things that you can do when you're broke. When you're broke. When you're broke. When you're broke. Don't shoot guns. Don't be violent. Don't shoot guns. Don't be violent. Don't shoot guns. Don't be violent. This one's a piece too. And all those too. Tension. Tension is all that I know. Oh, I got tension out in my traffic. I got tension in my office. I got tension and it's everywhere that I go. After the bad guy killed off all the underdeveloped characters, the good guy put a bullet right through his head. The screenwriter stood up and he told us that all the loose ends had been tied. He said justice is irrelevant. Violent problems need violent solutions, because in America we like our bad guys dead. Preferably after some kind of kick-ass car chase that somebody films. Tension. Tension. Tension is all that I know. Oh, I got tension out in traffic. I got tension in my office. I've got tension and it's everywhere that I go. They rolled off all my problems and they pointed their fingers at drug addiction. I think it's because they know if you're the one doing the pointing, nobody's looking at you. But you know this war on drugs is funded by tobacco and alcohol commissions. It's not really what drugs that we're strung out on they care about so much as who. People still dig drugs. Shit, we had to chase off some teenagers in our dressing room smoking a joint when we first got here. Don't tell me kids don't still dig drugs. Like, get out of here, you kids. Still smells pretty bad down there, though. Tension, tension is all I know. I've got tension in my health food. I've got tension in my exercise. I've got tension and it's everywhere that I go. When rock and roll first came around, it seemed like preachers all went crazy. Pretty soon, though, that wasn't enough to get anybody in the door.
Yeah.
So now they jump on just about any scandal that they have to try and save me, because they know that I don't buy that bullshit about the devil's music anymore. Gay people getting married. That's what scares people that don't have shit all else to be scared of these days. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer. All you need is a 10 and a 5 or a car, a key and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer. A couple of frat guys from Abilene drove out all night to see Robert Earl Keen at the K-Pig Swine and Soiree dance. They wore baseball caps and khaki pants. They wanted cigs, so to save some money, they bummed off this hippie that smelled kind of funny. Next thing they knew, they were both really hungry and pretty thirsty too. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. All you need is a 10 and a 5, a car, a key, and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. At the store with the sign said their beer was coldest, they sent in Brad because he looked the oldest. He got a case of bar, a case of beer and a candy bar. Walked over to where all them registers are, laid his fake ID on the countertop. The clerk looked, he turned, he looked back up and he stopped and he said, "Kid, I'm not going to call the cops, but I'm going to have to keep this car." The guys both took it pretty hard. They took it hard. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. All you need is a 10 and a 5, a car, a key, and a sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. Another old hippie named Sleepy John. He said he was the guy from the Robert Earl song, so they gave him their cash. He bought him some brews. It's a beautiful day out in Santa Cruz. They were feeling so good, should have been a crime. The crowd was cool and the band was prime. Made it back up front to their seats just in time to sing with all their friends. Y'all Robert Earl King fans, I'm saying, the road goes on forever and ever. I want to do the chorus to this again, but, and I don't mean to stop right in the middle and everything, but I wanted to get something off my chest before we sing this again, because I've been singing this song for a long time. I live in a town where almost everybody else on my street does what I do for a living, and so when we congregate down at the local bars, such as this one here on East Nashville side, oftentimes, songwriters will say to me, "Man, Todd, I bet you get sick of that fucking beer one." So I like to set the record straight. I don't get sick of this one. I think it might be my favorite fucking one. It's deep as shit if you really listen to it. For the metaphor and the political metaphor that's deep in there. You know? And besides, it's just fun as fuck. You spell beer, you spell run, it's to the tune of you get a line and I get a pole, baby. Goddamn, what's not to like? It's a fucking party in a bag. Shit, don't like it. I sang it twice in the dressing room before we came out here. Elvis loves it. He's like, do it again. Fuck yeah, I'll do it again. I sang it this morning and I sung it at the Continental breakfast at the hotel. People love it. You spill beer and then run. Shit. I'll tell you something else, friends and neighbors. I don't know about you, but there ain't gonna come a day where I make up some song, play it for somebody, and then sometime later they see me and they ask me to play it again, and I don't wanna. That day ain't coming for me. I'm an old timer, y'all. I'm an old timer. It's too late for me to try to die young now. I'm an old timer, just a 5-and-dimer, trying to find a way to age like wine somehow. My new stuff, it ain't nothing like my old stuff was, and neither one is much when compared to the show, which ain't going to be as good as that show you saw that made you bring your friend out tonight. Now you're gonna shit, it was better last time, maybe I'll talk more later. So help me, I know I'm an old timer, too late to die young now. I'm an old timer, just a 5-and-dimer, trying to find a way to age like wine somehow. I've met every fool that ever signed their name up on the walls, in the backs of all these beer joints and concert halls. I've been through 7 managers, 5 labels, 1,000 picks and patch cables, 3 vans, a band, a bunch of guitar stands, and cans and cans and cans of beer, and bottles of booze and bags of pot, and 1,000 other types of drugs that I forgot. I thought that I'd be dead by now, but I'm not. Soul driver, B-double-E-double-R-U-N-D-R. You get in line and I get a pole, honey. You get in line and I get a pole, baby. You get in line and I get a pole. We roll down to the Benjamin Moles like a B-double-E-double-R-U-N-D-R. Do it. I've done that before. I'm fucking gonna ask for it again and play it again. I'll tell you what else, I'll do Freebird too. You yell for that fucking and you'll be sorry, you'll be like, fuck, how long has he been doing that? And remember, I don't play lead or nothing. It's just 16 minutes of strumming along to Freebird. Hey, listen, I was gonna do this, I don't know if I can pull this off. That's an old story. Let's see if I can, fuck it, anybody can do shit they knew up here. That'd be easy, too easy. Just what everyone would suspect. I think that's some kind of... I'll do that. This is, but I already got the tuning thing fucked up. This is a story, true story, told to me in the back of a car up in Homer, Alaska. Digger Dave was a friend of mine. He got himself into a bit of a mess one time, minding his business and drinking his wine, when he heard a shotgun blast. It was nothing that he had never seen before, until that girl Christine come crying through the door, screaming, "Yukon Jack told me that I should get rid of this thing fast." Yukon Jack and Digger Dave, I know that sounds like a couple of names I just made up, but I'm telling you, this is the truest story that I tell. She threw down the gun and took off a running. Digger Dave followed, and he soon come up on that death wish kid from Michigan, laying there shot up all to hell. He'd had a death wish since he came up from the lower 48, and they'd all been drinking for 3 days straight. When the gun come out, it was already too late for anyone to keep the peace. No one remembers what the fight was about. Everyone agrees the kid pulled the first gun out. First defense, without a shadow of a doubt, was what they all agreed to tell the police. Digger Dave said, "Shit, you know you're onion with this." Walked up to AJ's and drank himself a pit. A yellow tape was strung all over the place when he finally come walking back out. A victim of circumstance, if ever there was one. The last time I seen him, he said that he had just done 1.5 years for what he called letting that crazy bitch into his house. Got a song about it though, what's something like crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I never should have let her into my house. Crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I never should have let her into my house. There's only one way to know how far is just far enough. That's to go a little bit too far and then back up. Back up and hold hard. Luck ain't on your side. They'd already been talking about and turning to me about all the gunplay down there on Brunel Street. They met a little bit too late, I guess, at least for that kid that died. Crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I never should have let her into my house. Crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. I got the crazy woman blues. Lord, I just never let her into my house. I don't know if it's worth all that trouble. We got that one played. Here, man, I'll play that one. I remember what you said. I'm going to play a few more here, and then we'll take a break, and I'll just come up and do shit you want me to. I won't do Freebird, though. Because that one person just said, "Don't do Freebird." Under no circumstance. This song about a dear friend of mine, Eddie Saber, not with us no more. Hello road, big cold moon, quit too late, you'll die too soon. Woman with a needle and a silver spoon, got you hold up singing the devil's tune, playing the blues, paying your dues, speeding your young life away. I never will get over what I heard about you the first thing New Year. say I felt so sad. The truth is, I'm still mad at the selfish way that you just left your dad. When you know what a hard luck time he's had, sleeping through a dream come true. You just threw all your talent away. I never will get over what I heard about you the first thing New Year's Day. Slipping away, New Year's Day. I could fall up against my wall when I walk and when I've got to come. When I walk in with the weight of it all, that's when it hit me like a waterfall. I'm playing the blues and I'm paying my dues, spend my young life away. I never will get over what I heard about you the first thing New Year's Day. Slipping away, a new year. Yellow rose, wiggle moon, quit too late and you will die too soon. A woman with the needle and a silver spoon has got you hold up, singing the devil's tune. I never will get over what I heard about you first thing. I tell everybody that asks me how much I like Jerry Jeff Walker, probably my favorite. I love John Prine, Billy Joe Shaver, Chris Christopherson too. That's like my Mount Rushmore, I guess. But Jerry Jeff's probably my favorite just because he was my first, and I saw him as a young guy and thought, this is what I want to do. I saw him one night at a place called Green Hall and just said, fuck it, that's what I'm going to do. And then years later we became pretty good friends, and I consider him like a father to me now, and he's just been a great friend in my life, and sometimes we get to go on trips or something together. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I just like to share this story with people. It was about 3 months ago. We went up to Santa Fe. He wanted me to see his bar up there, so we went up and we did a little show. And then when the show got over, we went over to this bar and we closed it at around 3:30 in the morning. We were the last people to leave, and when we came out on the square, there was nobody left. I swear to you, there was no car, no people, no nothing, you know. And we started walking back to our hotel, and as God is my witness, off in the distance around the corner you could hear. And I said, what the fuck is that? He said, no shit, let's go see what that is. So we started walking, we turned the corner. There was this old guy with a banjo and a harmonica. His hat was on the ground, and he was playing for nobody. And we thought, what the hell? So we wondered, you know, I thought, well, maybe he knew Jerry Jeff was in town or something, but we go over there to listen, and he clearly did not know who that was. He didn't know who Jerry Jeff was. He was just singing that song for the freedom and the spirit of singing it at 3 o'clock in the morning with nobody around, you know. And I could tell that it was choking Jerry Jeff up, and I wondered, man, should I tell this guy that he's singing the song for the guy that wrote it, you know? And then I thought, no, that's not my place to do that. So I waited to see if Jerry Jeff would, and he didn't. When the song got over, he just gave him every fucking dime he had, and he said, that was really great, son. Thanks for playing that for us. As I was walking back to the hotel, I was wondering what kind of thing nice I had done in some past life to warrant the cornrow on that and getting to be there for that moment with my hero like that. I know it wasn't something I did in this life, that's for fucking sure. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to play you this song. A new man from Jankers and it asks for you. A worn out shoe, silver hair, a baggy shirt and baggy pants. You did your some shoe. You jump so high, you jump so high. Bags clothes all around. Said his name Bojangles and he danced a leg across the cell. He grabbed his pants from Peter's dance and then he jumped up so high. He clicked his knee. He let go and laughed. Lord, let go laugh. Laugh, slapped his leg and stepped. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, hey, Mr. Bojangles, come on and dance. I was down and out. He looked to me to be about the eyes of age. As he spoke right out, he talked of his life. Lord, he talked of life. Threw back his clothes all the way around. Across the cell, he spoke in tears of 15 years, how his dog and him, they had traveled about. Till that dog and man died, loaded up and died. For 20 years he still grieved. Mr. Bojangles, oh now Mr. Bojangles, hey now Mr. Bojangles, won't you come on and dance? Said he danced not every chance at some honky tonks for drinks and tips. Most of the time, no, I spend behind these county bars. I drink some beer. You shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask him, please. Mr. Bojangles, oh now Mr. Bojangles, hey now Mr. Bojangles, come on and dance. Yeah, coming out to see me on a weeknight. I hope you can hang around and let me sing for you some more. If you can't, thanks for coming out and be safe getting home. If you can't hang around, let's have some drinks. Let's tip that bartender over there. I'll be back in